In this video, I'm going to show you how to address something like hip impingement using a band and progress it to a cable machine. Hey everyone, I'm Sebastian at Performance Place Sports Care, part of the locally world famous chiropractors in Costa Mesa, California. We have virtual or in-person services. So now, a lot of times people who are dealing with hip impingement in the front of the hip here tend to be bothered with knee to chest movements or deep squatting positions. One way to improve this is to improve how the glute max stabilizes the thigh as it goes through that type of movement. For a lot of you, you've probably been told you should do a glute med exercise or a glute minimus. The glute max takes care of all of it. So it'll activate all those tissues, and so it's probably the most productive thing that you can do. One thing you can do other than just patterning is you can load a simple pattern like a single leg hinge, which can dramatically help out with activating all that tissue back there. And you're gonna know very quickly if it helps out or not, because you're gonna start to burn like hell right there, okay? So what I would start with is stand on a band. This is kind of heavy, kind of not. It's right on the knuckle of the toe. That's probably important because it'll help guide you into a better position without having to think too much. And then you grab deep on this. If that's too deep or too hard for you, then just make it a little easier. But the more tension you get on the band, the quicker it goes. And you're going to notice that I'm slowly feeding this guy back into that point without letting the band slacken at any point. All right, so I'm going to go through about 10 reps or so per side. And this is an excellent starting point. I can already feel this butt cheek working like mad over here. Now, the mistakes that people oftentimes make on this is that they lock their knee. They lock their knee this way, or they just squat it. It's not a squat, it's not a lunge. The other thing they do is they take this other leg and they make it super dominant. And so what that ends up looking like is they'll take it and they'll just lock that baby out. Or they'll go like this and they'll make it so the exercise never really goes into single leg stance. It's a split leg stance because they're so dependent upon this. And it ends up going like this. Now, one thing that you could do to minimize that is you can give another contact. And so my hand here on the wall is enough to give me some trust in this movement where I can load into the side here and then not depend upon this back leg. In fact, I don't even need it, right? And now my glute's just burning like mad. So a single leg pattern can be the movement of it. It can be a little light load of it, or it can be a little bit more load of it, which is what we're going to get into this cable machine. Now, for some of you who are scared to do this, just know that it's only really only bad if it's painful in that moment or you feel terrible after. There's plenty of people who are able to do a lot of exercises and that adapt to the exercise faster. They get better faster if they just get some reassurances that the exercises are safe for them. And that's part of our job, is to assess, is it safe? How much should you do and what is safe, right? So, but there's no point in doing the same useless exercise for months on end. It's not going to help you. So what I do here is the same thing but different. Single leg, trust hand if I need it, and then feed that anchor point slowly back in there and back up. Again, the big mistakes people make is they depend on the back leg, or they stiffen the back leg, or they just let the slack go, right? I don't know if you guys can see this machine kind of wobbling back and forth. I usually don't use it at this angle here, so I'm glad it's lightly loaded. We usually do it forward, okay? But there's plenty of exercise machines at the gym. You can use cables at the gym, and the handles are there too. Typical reps and sets I do with this is I go this till it burns, because it is a corrective exercise. Corrective exercises have more of a burning effect, or they're more of a patterning, mentally burning effect. This one though, that just felt kind of heavy. And if I do it right, the reps and sets will the reps will get around 8-ish. The sets will probably be around like 4 to 5-ish, maybe 3, depending upon who the person is. But usually like 8 of 3 is pretty standard. And I would just keep jumping back and forth between both sides. And again, it should feel hard, but it probably won't burn a ton, not as much as this thing will. But that's probably the more productive of the exercises. So if you guys are looking for help with this as telehealth, we can help you. So reach out to us. We do have in-person services too. We're in Costa Mesa, California, and we specialize giving people the right rehab exercises so they feel productive and so you can get back into your sport. Take care.